Hi guys, today we will learn how you can create your own custom skills. So let's dive straight into it. Let us briefly discuss what are skills. So skills are nothing but markdown files that teaches Claude about how to do a certain thing really well. And skills are something that gets triggered by Claude on its own when it thinks it is relevant. I've talked about skills and other concepts in the last video, do check it out. But essentially the skill.md file is having two parts. One is the YAML formatter and the other is the markdown body, and we will see all of it in action. So let's start with the creation part. To build our own custom skill, we will use the creator skills from Anthropic. For that, you can come to the skills repository from Anthropic, and here we'll go to skills folder. Inside that, you can see the skill creator skills, and this is something that we will use to create our own custom skills, and you can add it to any of the coding agent that you're using. For this demo, I will be using Claude Desktop app. So I've already added the skill creator in the app, but feel free to add the skill to any of the coding agents that you're using. Now let's think about a scenario for which we want to create skills. In my case, recently I've started creating a lot of cross-platform mobile application using React Native. And for that, most of the times I use Expo. So I think it would be beneficial for me if we can create a skill regarding the same. So let's give it a try. Since I create a lot of mobile applications that are cross-platform native, and for that, I use most of the time the React Native and Expo tech stack. So create a skill that scaffolds a new Expo project with my preferred tech stack, which is TypeScript, with the Auth in place, with certain API services in place, with the preferred UI components that I want. This will really help me in automating the new project creation. Okay, so it's using the brainstorming skill first, and then it will use the skill creator skill to build it properly. So currently it's exploring the current project. It's checking any existing skills that I may have. Okay, so now it's asking me a bunch of questions. As we can see, it's asking what auth approach do I want to use in my Expo apps. And most of the times I use Firebase Auth. So these are just some bunch of questions that it's asking me to understand the context properly. How should the skill be evoked? What input does it need from you each time? So I think I'll just give the app name and the skill will handle everything by itself. As you can see, now it's asking me the approach that I prefer for how the skill should work, and it has given me three options. For this one, we'll stick with a single skill.md file, but it's up to you if you want to create other supporting documents, references, examples with your skill. Yeah, I think overall this looks good. So I'll say looks good. I like the name. It's called Expo Scaffold. Now, as we can see, it has done the full designing and it will write me a design spec document. Okay, it's asking me to review the spec, and it says if it looks good, we will proceed. So I'll say proceed. So now the implementation will actually start. If you look at the screen, we can clearly say it has launched the skill creator tool. So this skill that we see is from Anthropic Skills and it has been launched. It has read that skill and it will use it. So this is something that the Claude is doing on its own. As you see in the prompt, I didn't mention that I want to use this particular skill. That's the beauty of skills. Like Claude is the one that decides when it wants to invoke those skills. For this, I started it in plan mode, but if you know what needs to be done, maybe you can directly start with the implementation. It's up to you how you want to go about this. The cloud has generated a plan. So if this plan looks good, we can approve it and the implementation will start. So the skills directory is being created. It's created under my user, which is at the personal level. So what it means is the skill will be applicable to all the projects that we are using. It's up to you if you want to create a skill at the project level. In this case, we are creating a skill at the personal level. That's why you see it under my username. This is a skill file that has been created. This is user invocable. What I mean by that is we as user can actually call the skill in the conversation if we want. Now let's test the skill. Since this is user invocable, we can test this directly. This is the name, and then we will type the app name, which is test application, and let's see. And it's creating a blank TypeScript project for me. Next, it is installing the dependencies that are there. The step 3 is creating directory structure. That has been done. As you can see, at the time of testing, it was able to figure out an issue, due to which it has updated the skill.md file so that the issue is resolved. Now, as we see, the project is ready and it's there under the test app folder. So now let's check out the code, and maybe we'll try running it and see how that will look like. This was the directory that we used, and here we can see a folder called test app and all the files are inside it. To test it out, what we need to do is we will go to the test app, and then we have a .env.example file. So we will copy this into env, and this basically requires the Firebase related details. Let's actually start the project. So we can scan this QR code from the Expo app. I got an error on the app saying that the project is incompatible with this version of Expo Go, and I already know the reason for it. This is due to the Expo version. So we will downgrade the Expo version and then see it again. As you see, this is the mobile application on my iPhone, and we have two screens already here. So this is the welcome back screen, basically the login screen, and this is the create account screen, and everything is authenticated via Firebase already. We can create account via our email ID and password. So let's do it. There's already a validation from Firebase if the password is less than 6 characters, and all of it is in place without us writing even a single line of code. Now let's log in using the email address and password. I've already created an account using these details. Once we sign in, we see a home page where we have a welcome message, and then there's this other page for profile, and we have the third page for settings. And in the settings page, we have a sign out button which works just perfectly fine. Now let's actually look where the skill is located. So we are inside the skills folder, and we have this skill called Expo Scaffold. So here you see the skill.markdown file. We have the name, description, and the metadata. And the name and the description is super important for us because that's how the Claude will discover the skill. So we have to keep it not very tight. We have to keep it not very loose. It has to be just perfect. And then we have few metadata in there. We see a flag called user invocable, which has been set to true. Yeah, then we have the body where everything is being written about the skill, the inputs, and the tech stack that we will use. And we have also given the execution steps. So there are different steps that we have listed below. So this is like really a very big markdown file. Now let's try to enhance the skill. We know it's already working. Let's see what sort of improvements could be done. So it has identified some meaningful improvements. As we can see, it is asking us to give the Firebase error messages in more friendly manner. And then it's asking us to add a screen for forgot password, and then reset password is also required, and other sort of improvements. So it has improved the description as well. It's adding phrases that we normally use, like let's say, build me an app, or I want to create a mobile app. Rather than saying the word React Native or Expo, it will really help in triggering the skills whenever required. Now I will specifically ask skill creator to enhance the skill, and let's see what that will cook. So as we can see, there were a couple of issues found. The skill.md file was quite large. It was around 1,000 lines. And then the creator skill says that it should be within 200 lines. And yeah, so this basically is running the evaluation in parallel. So it will do certain type of evaluations also to ensure that the skill is being triggered when required and shouldn't be triggered in certain cases. Let's take you to the eval review page that it has created, and you can see these are certain conditions under which the skill should be triggered and should not be triggered. So now as we can see, the skill.md file was brought down to 139 lines, and earlier it was 1200 lines, and now it's running the optimization loop in the background. So this is how the summary looks like. It has brought down the size of skill.md file. It has added few other important things. Now let's quickly take a look at the reduced skills.md file. So this file that we have now is of 100 lines. It has become compact. And do you notice a folder called references inside Expo scaffold that was not there earlier? So this one is having the templates for the configurations, the hooks, the UI components, and everything. Earlier, everything was bundled in one markdown file, making the file larger, and this makes it look better. And this is something that we discussed about earlier. We can have the references, examples, and everything coupled with skills together. With this, we have come to an end of the video. I hope it was useful. We were able to learn how we can create our own custom skills by using the create skill by Anthropic. You can try to use it for any of the use cases that we have. In this, I picked a very technical one. I hope it was useful. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.